Hello and welcome to Black Crow Gaming. We are back, baby. Arron and Simon are here to do another Space Wolves video. Simon, we've had a lot of comments on our videos, haven't we?
Yeah, people not happy about Bloodclaw's being able to kill Lion.
No, I mean,
People did bring up some very, very valid points about the Lion could just precision, which kind of skews the math a little bit.
yeah, but there's loads of things that skew the math. But if we did that and we weighted it that way, it wouldn't be as fun.
True.
It just wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, and we want the Space Wolves to kill the Lion.
Yeah, we engineered it in our favor, but
Yeah.
we all know there are ways and means of that not being a thing.
Yes, yeah.
However,
people just don't take the Lion anyway because he's crap, so it's fine.
Well, I think some people do.
Well, Toby doesn't talk about them enough, so he's not
Well,
got him in his list at the moment. He's not saying he's a DILF, so I don't know.
He's too busy wearing them on his pants.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, enough about that. We need to talk about some of our wonderful sponsors, as you just saw. If you like your minis at a cheaper rate, go to Glasshammer, put in BCG, and you'll get an additional 5% from your miniatures. If you like bespoke terrain, and you go to Terrain Forge and you put in the Black Crow as your discount code, and you can get yourself a sweet little 5% discount with Terrain Forge. And you'll see it all of our battle reports. Simon plays on it regularly. Love it.
Yep, very, very nice. Very sturdy.
And then we've got our newest sponsor, Trident Futureworks, who have been providing us with amazing cases, bespoke cases, with an awesome pink crow sprayed on the side of it. Which is very cool. I've got two of them. And if you if you like these cases, they've just had this fancy new website design. So go up on and have a look at that, and you'll be blown away by just how cool it is. You can have, custom artwork on the side, custom back plates, custom front plates, custom whatever you want, I suppose. It's very, very, very swanky. But tonight, Simon, we're not here to talk about our sponsors anymore. We're going to move on from that. Tonight, we are here to talk about Space Wolves. And what detachment are we talking about tonight, Simon?
The Saga of the Hunter.
But it does what?
Yeah, murders. I like it.
I don't.
No, I'm leaning more towards it than Beast Slayer. Beast Slayer, I'm just not having success with or fun with at the moment. To be fair, it's not very Space Wolfy.
Well, look, folks, if you're watching this and you're gonna, I think you probably decide who do you agree with? Do you agree with Simon or do you agree with me? I think it's a hot pile of garbage.
I think it's got potential. It's fine.
So we're gonna go from that. So, and on that note, let's talk about what we mean by the meta game, because obviously we like to tell you about this. If you don't know what the meta is, what is the meta? The meta currently is a term known as the meta game. And what that essentially is, it refers to the current state of the competitive game, which is a hot mess, folks.
Yes.
It is a hot mess. I mean,
we need a data slate.
We just had a data slate. We've got people in Germany saying they're going to ban Imperial Knights for some reason. We've got Death Guard who can just pick up 3,000 points worth of army in one go.
Yeah.
You've got 1,000 Suns who are just winning games with about 100 goats. We're in a goat meta, Simon, and I don't like it. You know what? If you've ever seen 6++ videos and you've seen the person Ed Watts on there, he just loves to just have hundreds of models on the table.
Yeah, look at his guard list from Glasshammer.
What was it, like 100?
Sorry for his back.
140. I tell you what,
He's a legend for doing it. Don't get me wrong, but God Lord, boy.
And he painted that in like a really short time.
No, I'm 6 foot tall. I can't do those kinds of lists. He's 5 foot, and he can just sort of stand at a table and not have to worry about his back hurting.
I reckon that he just basically just flicks them at the destination and
just pushes them at people. It's got a stick just going.
But if you want to have a look at that, Ed does talk about that on 6++. So by all means, go and subscribe to the 6++ channel. They're great friends of ours. They do great work, and Ed is an awful human being for throwing those types of lists at people. But apparently they work.
Yeah, he's a lovely person.
Oh yeah, no. The caveat is he's nice.
Yes.
But a dick.
Which makes it worse because he's really good. He's really nice, and he makes you feel warm and welcome, and then he destroys you with that shit.
Yeah, he's got a smile. He's got that
Yeah,
smile. He's like, hee.
disgusting.
And then he puts 120 goats on the board, and you're like, what?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. You're evil. You're evil.
It's a goat meta, you say.
Mm.
But anyway, as we continue, we went on a tangent there. This consistently changes every 3 months as the new rules and points for the game get updates. Oh my god. Thank God that it does. This could refer to strong armies, Death Guard, list builds, or particular strategy. For example, fast-moving armies with lots of scoring units. Which meta did you prefer? The Eldari spam or Death Guard meta?
I've not faced the Death Guard meta yet. I've not done I've not done tournaments for a couple of months. So I'd probably say the Eldar meta is more my favor because I was Jakari, so I could just bounce around as much as they could.
I can tell you now, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
100-point bloat drones with like damage free, and they get like 8 shots on average, and they're like reducing your freaking toughness and your all this. Get in the bin.
Well, it's the people like Alan and stuff putting lists on the group chats, and you're still scrolling through, going, "Where's it end?"
Oh yeah. It's
just
they're about 300 points undercosted, give or take. And anyway, we're going to talk about the Saga of the Hunter. Now, what does it do? What does it do? My opinion, not a great deal. In Simon's opinion, a deal. But let's have a look at it. So the detachment rule. Each time a model in a Space Wolf unit from your army makes a melee attack, that targets an enemy unit. If that enemy unit is within engagement range of one or more Adeptus Astartes units from your army, or if the attacking unit contains more models than the enemy unit, you get add 1 to hit.
It's nice. It's really good.
Which is fine. You just got to make sure you've got 2 units there hugging.
Yeah. Or a big blob of 20 Blood Claws or 10 Grey Hunters.
Yes. So, Blood Claw, you are rewarded for Blood Claws.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You like Grey Hunters. I like Grey Hunters. I like the idea of a build with some Grey Hunters just to hold objectives, just to be a bit annoying. I like Blood Claw spam.
Yeah.
I'd quite happily run just MSU Blood Claw and have like 8 units.
We can only have 6.
What, Blood Claws? It's battle line. Can't you have as many as you like?
You have 6. Up to 6.
Battle
line's up to 6.
Why did I think you could have as much as you like? Oh, I know why.
You've been cheating again.
No, absolutely not. It's probably because I look at Ed Watt's list and I'm like, how's he manage it? And the next one, which everybody loves, is if you Saga is completed, add 1 to the wound roll as well.
Lovely.
Everyone likes +1 to wound. This is probably the easiest Saga to complete.
It is, yeah. You got to kill 3 units.
That's
and then
right.
your Sagas. They have to kill 3 units in combat.
Yes. Each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army fights, after all the attacks are resolved, add 1 to the quarry tally for each enemy unit destroyed. Strike force 3 units to complete Saga. So that is your 2,000 point competitive game. So you need to get 3.
Yeah.
Which is pretty reasonable to do.
Yeah.
I think you could probably achieve that quite quickly.
Yeah. Depending on what you face.
My problem is, exactly that. Yeah. There are certain units you're probably not going to get this off on.
Nope.
Because you probably don't want to be killing them in combat. You're going to struggle into Custodes.
Be able to kill them in combat.
Yeah, you'll struggle into Custodes.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Beast Slayer is better because of the lethals. Personally.
Yeah.
Weight of attacks, lethals, spam.
Yeah.
If you're going to be, and you've got the one CP stratagem to just do +1 to wound.
Yeah. I'm not putting up a good defense for this detachment at the moment, really.
No, you're not.
No.
Try
harder.
Try harder. Do better, Simon.
Yeah. I get told that an awful lot.
But on this note, on this, we do talk about this. Look, having +1 to hit, +1 to wound is nice. And if you get it off, it's great. On your Space Wolf units.
Yes.
So the caveat here is it is only for units within Codex Space Wolves.
Yes. So the Adeptus Astartes units can kill stuff.
That's right.
To add it to the quarry. So units like the JPIs, like Vanguard veterans, going out, killing something on like a scouting unit or an infiltrating unit are going to allow your army to get it. they're just not going to benefit from it. So it's all about, again, it goes back to our last video, to scout the keyword bingo. Like, you have to be looking at those keywords, and it's only Space Wolves that are going to be benefiting from it.
And when we did our last video, that was confusing for us because obviously we just got the book, we were going through it, and even we were like, some of the comments were, oh, keyword, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, it's a valid point. Like, the keywords is quite difficult to understand because actually it's a bit of a hot mess. And I think this particular detachment, I think this particular part of the book needs an FAQ because we are restricted on what characters can join our units. We are restricted on what gets the benefit of our rules, where Blood Angels, it's just Adeptus Astartes units. So there is some restrictions which I think they may change, and I think that could come in an FAQ. And I think that's only going to come when the book is officially released, which is next weekend.
But as of filming this, it comes out Saturday now?
Does it come out this Saturday or the next Saturday?
I believe it's this Saturday, I think.
From filming this, we are
getting their products this weekend.
We are filming this on the 2nd, so maybe this Saturday, maybe this Saturday after. I don't know. We've had the book. We've had the stuff. We've had this stuff for ages, so who knows? It feels like forever. But anyway, Saga of the Hunter. That's what it does. Now the stratagems. The stratagems are okay.
Yeah, all 1 CP again, which is lovely.
All 1 CP. So the first one is Envelop and Ensnare. So that is a fight phase Space Wolves unit, not selected to fight yet. Has a pile in and consolidate of 6 inches.
Cool, nice.
But there is like this weird caveat to that rule where, so it can move 6 inches instead of 3. Yes, when doing so, it does not need to end that move closer to the closest enemy model, provided it ends that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit.
Yeah.
So that's where you can kind of spread a little bit.
Yes. So 20-man blob of blood claws can suddenly just go.
Yeah, which is nice. Like that's nice. That's reasonable. Like, everyone likes a 6-inch pile in consolidate. I like it,
especially with the Death Guard being able to sort of deep strike 6 inches. Suddenly having that pushing out, having that screen is nice.
Yeah, because if they make a silly rapid ingress, you might be able to do something with it.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's gonna never come up, but you never know.
No.
So the territorial advantage. So fight phase. Just after an enemy unit is destroyed by an Adeptus Astartes unit in your army, that Adeptus Astartes unit has sticky objective. So for those who don't know what sticky objective is, it means that the objective remains under control even if you are not on the unit, and the unit that then takes it over has to have more OC than what you originally was on the objective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely.
Great with Grey Hunters.
Yeah.
Because they have them as they're like all 3 OC. So that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. It's not the same as the Knight's sticky objective where it suddenly has an OC of like 5. We still have to have models on the objective to stop someone taking it off us.
Yeah, and it's select one objective marker. You control the objective marker remains under your control until your opponent's level of control over that objective marker is greater than yours at the end of a phase.
So if we have nothing on it and they drop one thing on it, it's their objective. Yeah. So it's still very, very good stratagem because you want to be onto the objectives, you want to be killing stuff anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you want to be. So being able to sticky, it's great.
Yeah.
Overwhelming onslaught. Fight phase. Just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, target 2 Adeptus Astartes units with the engagement range of that enemy unit, or 1 Space Wolf Beast unit from your army with an engagement range of that unit. When an army attacks this unit, they are -1 to hit. So -1 to hit.
For 2 units. Nice.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. I like that.
You're going to be wrecking people anyway, so yeah, you want to keep them safe.
Yeah, so -1 probably could be quite impactful. Again, my big concern with this detachment is where is its damage?
Yeah.
Chosen Prey. Movement phase. Just after a Space Wolf unit from your army falls back, they're eligible to shoot and charge. We love a fallback shoot and charge.
Yep.
Happy with that. Good. Pretty straightforward. Nice. Bounding advance, movement or charge phase, Space Wolves, infantry, or Space Wolf beast, normal move, fallback, advance, or charge move can go through models even within engagement range, but cannot end in engagement range unless making a charge. So being able to just walk through screens is great.
Yep.
But if you're playing into this, what you do to stop that happening is you bubble the unit. You don't just do a line, you layer it, and then the base can't end its move on there. So that's how you stop that. So although it's okay,
your opponent's going to be able to play around it. Yeah,
your opponent can play around it. If they really want to screen you and stop you going through, they can just do that.
Yeah,
which is fine. But it's great if you've got 12-inch moving units, which we do. But unfortunately, you can go through units, you just can't go through walls.
No, this strategy would be really good in Beast Slayer.
Yeah, it'd be better in Beast Slayer. March of Destruction. Shooting phase. 2 adept starters units that have not been selected to shoot this phase. Select 1 enemy unit visible to both units until the end of the phase. They can only target this unit and have rerolls of 1 to wound. Nice if they're your oath target and you really want it dead.
Yeah.
And because that's a 2 Adeptus Astartes units, that means that you can use your tanks, your ballistas, things like that to do the deed.
No Space Wolf shooter units.
No, we have no Space Wolf shooting. So that is actually all right because you could, you know, there's things you could drop in, you know, hint, hint, wink, wink, with lots of shooting that could be beneficial for. So you oath it, you get rerolls to hit. Get lots of hits off, then you go to the wound and you're getting your rerolls to wound as well. So it could be really impactful into certain units. The big caveat there is that they both need to be visible to the 2 selected units that you've chosen.
Yeah.
But you know, you've got those units that can like finish a deep strike, for example, within 6 inches. What are they called again in Scepters? Something along those lines.
Oh yeah.
And then they can come down and they can do the deal. I think there's like twin link. There's all sorts of like benefits to this. There are other units that it could work with. I again, there's no defensive strats really other than the -1 to hit.
No.
I still don't know where the damage comes.
I've got some ideas, but obviously we're going to go through like some ideas that I sent over to you earlier, but I've also been since sending them over to you, having a little play around, and honestly think the Vendreads have a bit of place in this.
So Vendread spam could be a thing.
I don't know if it's a thing, but it's certainly that's where you're going to get the damage output from. Because especially with the Knight meta, we don't in this current book, we don't have a lot of ways of dealing. As Space Wolf only, we don't have a lot of way of dealing with things.
No. So the enhancements show this. So you've got Swift Hunter, Space Wolf model only. Models in the Bearers unit have Scout 7 ability. Fantastic for Blood Force.
Love it.
Love it. Fenrisian Grit, Adeptus model only. The Bearer has the 4-up Feel No Pain, which is great on the mini Catan captain in Gravis armor. Who does he would be alive forever in this with this particular thing. That would be great. Not terrible on him. Wolfmaster, in your command phase, select 1 friendly Space Wolf unit within 9 inches. The dogs get lethal hit until your next command phase.
If you're really that desperate for the enhancement, it's already over.
I mean, that is a hot pile of garbage. It's absolutely cack.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely cack. Nobody cares if the dogs have got lethals or not. Just don't even in the comments try and justify it because we all know it's a hot pile of cack and I'm just not going to listen to you. Feral Rage. Adeptus Astartes mode only. Add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer. Pretty tasty. Each time the bearer ends a charge move until the end of the turn, add an additional 1 to the attack characteristic for those models, for those weapons. I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah. On the Wolfguard battle leader with a Thunderhammer.
Yeah, or the jump pack captain that can go Super Saiyan or whatever it is he does.
Yeah. Yep.
So I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Before that, so there's three enhancements. Three enhancements are pretty good, but it does have the worst enhancement probably in the book.
Yeah. They literally ran out of ideas at that point and went,
let's give the dogs lethals. Yeah. No.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why?
No. Yeah. I'm going to run 100 Fenrisian Wolves.
Oh God. What's your save? I don't have one. Fine.
But I'm here.
Yeah.
for about 3 seconds until you get taken
Yeah,
off the board.
and then it's over.
Yeah. Combos by Simon, right? This is your time to shine, Simon.
So yeah,
Convince me.
the obvious one is originally the obvious one for me was 3 squads of 20 blood claws. Obviously attached to one scouting enhancement on a wolf priest because you get +1 a wound straight off the bat.
There's your damage. There's some of your damage.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. Your next one.
7-inch scout and then 7-inch move with an advance. You're getting in your opponent's deployment zone fairly quickly. 3 squads of blood claws, full max 20-man squads. Really nice advance and charge.
We like that. We like advance and charge.
Definitely. Wolf priest. The +1 to wounds, early game, really good. Just that's why I'm sort of now, since sending this to you, I've looked at Grey Hunters just for that reroll wounds attached to Wolfguard battle leaders. So they're suddenly hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because of the Wolfguard battle leader with sustained. And then if the Saga goes off, getting +1 to wound, re-rolling, they will chew through things. Like it's not killing knights, but it will get through infantry spam, or it will get through lighter vehicles, especially with the Power Fist and the Thunder Hammer from the leader and the Wolfguard battle leader. Once the Saga's done it's MSU units. Like you want to be taking minimal squads of Thunderwolf cavalry for the 3 damage on the charge. It's the head takers. It's small squads of wolf, and it's all MSU because you want to be taking 2 squads onto a target to get +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
And you know the head takers are cheap for what they do.
They are 85 points is good.
And if you take 110 points for them with the dogs, and you can split them into 2 units.
Yeah.
So there's your 2 for the +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So I think it's Space Wolf. God, I hope they have the frigging right keyword.
I imagine, they would have a Space Wolf keyword because they're in the Space Wolf Codex.
But they are I do like the dogs, and since actually there's something we need to say. So since obviously our tier review, we didn't rate the dogs that highly. I do think the dogs have a place, and I think for how cheap they are, they can do quite a lot. But
they're only cheap when they're attached to head takers. If you try and take them just by themselves, then they're 40 points.
Yeah, the head taker versions are better.
Yes. Yeah.
Bajorn needed again? Do you think Bajorn needs to be in every list?
Every single list he goes in. It's just having the extra CP. Just for an interrupt, just for a heroic intervention, having extra grenades, having, the strats are fine.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to have those in the bank, even just for a smoke screen or a grenade or a CP reroll.
You want them there.
Yeah.
So you want to kill something on the objective to make it sticky. We talked about that
if you can do that early game, that's quite nice.
You think it's this hit and run army style pressure with advance through units can be avoid being screened. Yes, but we just talked about that earlier, how that can be countered. I feel like there are some major limitations with this detachment.
Yeah, it's relying on the bingo again. It's knowing that if your Adeptus Astartes units, like your JPIs, like your Scouts, like your Van Vets, can kill something in combat to get your Sagas off, they're still not getting +1 to hit. Still not getting +1 to wound. So you potentially yeet them out early game, and then you lose your scoring units because you're not going to be using 20 blood claws to score.
No. So how do you? So now we've talked about it a bit. What are your thoughts on this detachment so far?
I still am a fan, but you have to be very, very clever with it. I've gone back and redone a different list, and I've got Bjorn. I've got 2 Wolfguard battle leaders, a Wolf Priest with the enhancement to scout, 3 squads of 10 Grey Hunters, 3 Vendreads with shields and axes, and 3 squads of Thunderwolf cavalry, and that's literally it. And I feel that's Sorry, and an ATV as well, because the ATV, if somebody targets the Thunderwolf cavalry, then the ATV can shoot at them. It was something a bit funny. I had 60 points, but potentially like the Vendreads go up one side, the Thunderwolf cavalry go up the other flank, and then the Grey Hunters run up the middle. I don't know. There is play, but it's going to be a lot of work.
Do you want to hear what my thoughts are? So we get to Arron's thoughts, folks.
Yeah.
Arron's thoughts. The hot garbage take. So thoughts. Arron's take. This is a high pressure detachment, folks. Like it is. It is high pressure. You need to be in your opponent's face quickly. However, I feel you may lack the potential to do that. You've got that one unit that can scout 7. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. That is your 20-man blob, and you go, yeet. You scout 7, you move 7. But you're only going to be scouting that 7 if you're going first.
Yeah.
Because you can't... How can you hide... It's hard to hide a 20-man blob of Blood Claws.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah. I think the new UKTC terrain potentially helps.
Yes, but it's again, your opponent's going to know where they're going.
Oh, God, yeah. You're literally telegraphing where they're going.
The other problem with Scout 7, the other big problem with Scout 7, if your opponent has Infiltrate...
They stop it.
They can literally stop it.
Yeah.
So you're like...
Yeah.
So to be able to stop them infiltrating you need to make sure you take an Infiltrate unit in your list to infiltrate in front, to then stop them from infiltrating in front of you, to then you can then Scout 7.
Yeah. It literally relies on that first turn roll off and going, I've got this scout unit, they're going there.
Do you see my problem?
Yes. Oh, yeah, massively. To be fair, I do have 2 squads of scouts in that list, I did.
Unfortunately, the Codex is low strength in melee. We are really too low. And yes, the Wolf Priest gives us the +1 to wound, which is great. But we are a melee-focused army. And this attachment, although easy to achieve Saga, makes it difficult to do damage. It just does.
As soon as you tell your opponent that if I kill 3 units, my whole army gets +1 to hit and +1 to wound, they're just going to go, well, all my infiltrators or scouting units are just going to stay back here.
Mm-hmm. And so, the big problem is when we're in a knight meta, when everything is toughness 10, all your strength 5 is wounding on 6s. Ah!
Yeah.
And there's no +1 to wound strat. So you are literally relying on hoping that you get the Saga off.
Or 3 Wolf Priests.
Or 3 Wolf Priests. To wound them on 5s.
Yeah.
This is not good into that meta currently.
No. It'd be really nice if we could have, day 1 Codex FAQ, they say that it just changes to Adeptus Astartes, not Space Wolf keyword. And then you suddenly have Assault Centurions being able to +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
Yes. Then all of a sudden it becomes better. It just literally overnight. Becomes better. You can get access to Assault Terminators with Thunder Hammers. Yeah.
Let us take regular characters and attach them to units, or even just our Space Wolf characters attached to units.
Yes, absolutely. So that's one of my problems. It only gives the +1 to, like we said, to Space Wolf units. It's incredibly limiting.
Yeah.
Whereas at least the other detachment, I believe, the lethals
Lethals is a step to Astartes, it's everything.
It's a step to Astartes, so it's everything. So it's your shooting, it's your hitting. I just think that's better. Yeah. It's just better.
It is.
I feel on release we need an FAQ because we've got this limited selection. Yeah. It is really limiting. This just detachment
take us in line with Blood Angels.
This detachment is particularly limiting.
Yeah.
It's hot garbage.
Yeah.
The tier rating is it's a C or B.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a C. There may be a build somewhere.
Yeah.
You want to prove me wrong. I'm happy for you to prove me wrong.
Well, the Beast Slayer is... I've gone back over Beast Slayer. I've tried games with it, and it is strong. It's not a Space Wolf. It's almost like it's Ironstorm.
Mm.
But could it just work better as a Gladius task force, or could it just work better as an Ironstorm? Whereas this one is, well, you're just going to take Stormlance, or you're going to take Gladius.
Yeah, I think we need that FAQ. I think
Yeah.
that could make some changes, and I hope
Yeah.
that they do it. There's a chance that it just doesn't come,
No.
but we'll wait and see. We both had control. You think that there's a play here. I am absolutely not looking at this attachment one bit because I just think it's rubbish.
Yeah.
I keep saying to Simon, I like the idea of like 30 Terminators.
Yeah.
Or 20
Yeah.
Terminators, or like 2 units of 10, 1 unit of 5. I think the Terminators having that -1 to wound when they're being shot at, it brings you a defense platform that we
Yeah.
do not have in this
Yeah.
codex. Makes
Yeah.
them hard. They're harder to kill. Flat harder
God,
to
yeah.
kill.
And suddenly those Terminators are getting +1 to hit and +1 to wound. That's really nice.
Possibly.
Possibly. It's a very, very long way. It's potentially a bit, yeah, not sure how it goes, but
Or personally, you'd put them in Beast Slayer, Slayer of the Beast. Or we
yeah.
use this other detachment, which we need to talk about in the next video, which is Saga of the Bold.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. Characters.
is a
If you
detachment.
want to play Character Hammer, crack on. This one's one for you.
It's a detachment. It exists.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of channels have used it because it's fairly. They want to show off the characters because it's great for Logan, it's great for Bjorn, it's great for Ragnar.
It does. If you want to play
But then you're
Hero
getting a
Hammer,
reroll a hit. Yeah. No, it's the one for you.
and we're going to talk about that in the next video, and then that way we'd have gone through all 3 of our detachments.
Are
And
we
then
going to talk about the Christmas one?
no, yeah, go on then. We'll do it.
No.
We'll talk about it. We'll
Okay.
talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll do it. We'll review it. We'll do that, and then we'll go on to Gladius and Stormlance, where that's where some spicier builds are.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are just flat spicier.
Yeah.
And we'll go through it then,
Definitely.
folks. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, me and Simon will continue to do this because we like Space Wolves. And we will continue to share our thoughts and our experiences. When's your next tournament, Simon?
Possibly the end of July.
You got
Then we've
got the big Black Crow Gaming
yeah.
Ragnar
You're challenging me to take Wolves to that one, aren't you?
Oh yeah, the Ragnar event. So for those who are wondering, the Ragnar event, Black Crow Gaming is now branching off into the world of tournament events. What does that mean? You're probably saying is that basically we are going to be doing high quality 40 to 60 person events. So what do I mean by high quality? I mean all terrain forge terrain, all terrain forge mats. Well, why is that a good thing? All the terrain forge mats has the deployments on them. Nice.
No more measuring it out. It's all
No
good.
more measuring out. A ticket with Black Crow Gaming for your event means you get breakfast on the Saturday morning.
Yes.
Included. So when you rock up and you're a bit stressed because you come to your event, you're like, oh, you don't worry, guys, we've got you covered. There'll be a bacon roll, sausage bap, or a veggie bap of some description waiting for you there, with delicious coffee available for you to purchase at a low price. Can't complain there. What's even better, folks, about why our event is premium is because we have aircon. Yeah, that's right. You heard me.
Yeah,
an actual Warhammer event with air conditioning.
That's nice. I miss aircon.
That's nice.
It is.
And obviously on-site parking, electric car parking, full disabled access, and it is over in Norwich, the home where I am.
People, and then you said Norwich, and then they just went, oh.
Yeah, they did. Well, you are travelling across the country to come do it.
It's true. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, me and Josh are very excited for this one.
It's a big statement for Black Crow. The first event is just going to be full of Black Crow players and friends.
Yes.
And then we do this as our soft launch, folks, and then we'll be going into our hard launch with October, November, and December being a GT.
Yes, we will hopefully having it streamed as well after that. Not the first event, but we're looking to do streaming for future events as well.
We will be, and we will continue to invite lots of different people, and hopefully we'll get lots of people on there, and eventually we'll grow to a 60-person event. And I'm hoping we can continue to provide high quality Warhammer at a low cost. And what do you mean by low cost? That means the GT cost is £37.50.
It's incredible. It's really cheap for a GT.
Really cheap for a GT. Really cheap. High
And
quality
prices.
terrain.
Yeah.
Breakfast included. And if you are traveling, you can get hotels in Norwich really cheap because Norwich. It's a lovely, lovely city. But you can just get cheap accommodation. So it'll be the cheapest event you've been to in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then potentially we're going to be expanding down to the south as well.
That's right. So a little bit of an inkling, Space Wolf lovers, into what we've got planned for the future. But we've really enjoyed talking to you about this Saga of the Hunter. And
yeah,
we hope to see you for our next video.
Yeah. Keep with the comments about the detachments, all the insights you've got, correcting us about mistakes and stuff. It helps us. It helps everybody else. We appreciate it. We're still learning it.
Yeah, good or bad. We don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to learn. We want to make sure we're getting the right stuff and getting the rules right, because if we don't, then we might be telling someone the wrong, and you could end up doing it wrong at a tournament, and then that's not good. So,
and you just have to look. We worked out the keyword bingo.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got that down to a T. I think the general community will agree with us that this is very much a C tier. Unless you've got a list. Tell me a list. Tell me your success stories.
Oh yeah, please. I'd love to see a really successful list for this one.
But I would thank you very much, everybody. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. I've been Arron.
I've been Simon.
Bye.
Bye.